Boys and girls, this is about to be a capital S shit show. See, you already don't have the mic in front of one of y'all's mouths. We got two dudes right here who have to share. Dudes, what's your names?
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Ladies?
I'm Gabby.
Jordan.
Oh, God, we're off to a good start. All right, so you can see it's just me today because we didn't have enough mics, so your eyes are just going to have to forgive you.
That's all right.
Thanks, Nick. Like I said, this is going to be a capital S-H-I-T show. It's either going to go really good or really bad. This is our team, guys. This is our team going to semifinals, the East, TTT ENDURE. Maybe we'll figure out how you came up with that name. But first, let's figure out who you are. We got this podcast to make people care about you guys. And it's either going to work or they're going to learn to hate you and cheer against you. So the decision's up to you guys. Who wants to kick this puppy off?
Jordan looks ready.
All right, Jordan, tell me about Chris. Go ahead.
What do you want to know?
What do we need to know? None of these people watching right now know anything about you guys.
He used to work on a ship.
Okay.
He's really good at CrossFit. I've known him since 2018 or 2019. During my mini trips to Philly to see him and
You have
Aaron.
one chance to make people care about Chris, and this is how you're doing it?
Nick, take over.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, Chris is an amazing athlete. He's engaged to Perrin when the coach is here. He's also a newly dubbed
Talking to that mic, pull it down a little bit.
TTT nutrition coach.
TTT nutrition coach? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
He's a merchant marine.
He was a merchant marine. I don't know.
What'd you do on that boat, Chris? God, this mic thing's going to suck. Can we pass that one? Thank you.
I fixed shit.
Shit. What is shit?
Anything that broke. I was
On
an
the boat.
engineer. I was an engineer.
So if the boat broke, you fixed it.
Yes.
Were you good at it?
I was decent.
Decent.
I was decent.
What'd you learn from being on a boat, and how long were you on said
crap.
boat?
I did that for 8 years.
8 years. You're a boat
Yeah,
man.
it was it was a career.
Did you sleep in a tight bunk?
No, I had a decent size room.
Did you work with a team?
Yes.
So you adapt
Teamwork.
well here. Is he a good team member?
Chris is loyal. He's the kind of glue that keeps all of us sane, I'd say.
Would you say
What? The glue that keeps us sane?
For me, at least. He's
Gabby,
the
you
glue
haven't
for
said
me.
much.
I'd say Gabby would be more of the glue.
Well, maybe I'm the glue, or I think we're all the glue in our own way, but I think Chris, he is a really good athlete. I think he helps keep the tempers even keel.
Mm-hmm. Who has the temper?
Me, for
Okay.
sure.
And
I
yeah,
heard tempers.
yeah.
Tempers.
It's Nick and Jordan that get into it.
We should explain the enneagram.
Well, we're still doing
We should
Chris.
start with the enneagram.
No. I'm with
also,
him. Here, I'll write this down. We'll come back to Chris. See,
Yeah.
I got my notes here.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
Let's just dive into this anagram. So if
Yeah.
you bought the TTT ENDURE shirt, which went up in the shop a while back, none of y'all are wearing it. Our boys right here are wearing our Lord of the Rings shirts, and I was supposed to have one, but mine got lost in the mail, so now I've been
Got
dealing with
Sauron,
that.
Aragorn,
Yep.
and the Nazgul.
Yep, that's
But-
right. What were we saying? Oh, Enneagram. So y'all
Enneagram.
put on your shirt, it's like a homage to Sleep Token, which is a band that 3 of y'all listen to. Gabby's the odd person out. She's a Swiftie. And y'all train to them a lot. So we thought, hey, let's make a version of y'all's team shirt that incorporates that. And for some reason, y'all like Enneagrams. Tell me why.
Pass that off to Mike.
This was Gabby.
Okay,
Pass
so
Oh, this was your thing.
This
Yeah.
was like
Oh,
early
so
on.
then the shirt works. You got
Yeah.
these guys with Sleep
Yeah.
Token, and you get, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
I've always liked the Enneagram because I think people think of it as a personality test, but I think it's more about like what motivates you, right? And it's split up into 9 types, and like even though all of our behaviors are the same, right? Like we're in this to compete, and we really care about it, and we work really hard. The motivations are different, and so I asked everybody what their type was as a way to learn more about each other, and I think it's turned into like a fun way to connect.
Did y'all
with.
like doing the test, or did you roll your eyes? That was a heavy eye roll from Jordan when it happened.
There was not even an eye roll. So
No, not just now, when she asked you.
No, I had
No.
already
Whoa.
previously done it, but I couldn't remember what my number was, and I'm very interested and intrigued by like little things like that. But now it's become more of like a joke, and we'll make fun of each other for like little things that we do and be like, that's the 8 coming out in you, or like, that's the 6.
So what's y'all's numbers?
I'm an 8, hard 8.
I'm a 3.
3?
I'm a 6, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only 6 in CrossFit. So if anybody out there is a 6, hit me up because
He feels alone.
I
He
am
definitely
lonely.
feels alone.
I'm a 5, which is the rarest of all the numbers.
Yep.
Is it actually?
What's a
Yeah.
5, Gabby?
A
You
5
didn't
is
ask me
like-
what I am.
Oh, yeah,
But
sorry.
I'll tell you, I'm an 8.
Okay, 2 8s. Oh, the people with the tempers have the 8s, huh?
Yeah, the challenger. Isn't
Who
that
said
what
I
it
have a
is?
temper?
Yeah.
I
The-
just
the
I
8 is the
knew
challenger.
who it was.
Yeah, we all know.
The challenger. So what's their motivation?
You never want to be perceived as weak. You never want to be controlled.
Oh yeah.
I don't know you as well because y'all two just came on site this season, but
Yeah.
that 8's hitting hard on this description. So what's the 6? What is 6 motivated by? No, I want Gabby to say it.
The 6 is the loyalist, and they're motivated by security. Like
Security.
always trying to always trying to have a plan. Like the tendency is to worst case scenario everything.
Hell yeah.
Nice. And the
And a
3,
3?
your motivation.
Wow.
My motivation is, or I guess like my deepest fear would be to be perceived as like incompetent or useless. Yeah.
Do you know what mine is?
What is 5 again?
You probably only studied your team, huh?
No, I don't know 5s that well.
No. She usually knows them all because we all lean.
Forget the media people. You don't know what mine is?
I don't know what your deepest fear is as a 5. I know like they're super intellectual and they tend to be more introverted.
What is a 5?
Yeah, what's your deepest
No, that's
fear?
good enough. This is about you guys.
Okay.
So who's the captain is what everybody wants to know.
Jordan.
Captain Jordan.
Is that just because if she wasn't, y'all be arguing the whole time?
They do that
Absolutely
anyway.
not. So
She went to the games last year. I figured it was the only thing.
it wasn't even like a discussion. It was just like, you're going to be the captain. And then it just was.
Does a team have to have a captain, or is this?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, the captain is mainly just the point of contact for CrossFit. So they do the registering for the team.
so send
pay
the scariest
fees, keep
flicker up there.
everything organized.
I was
and
thinking
then-
seniority.
And then they're the person who handles like appeals at competition or like,
I would not want to be the
Just behind
person
the scenes
talking to
type
you
stuff.
about appeals. Oh man, God bless that lady or man, whoever has to talk to you.
whatever.
Well, hopefully you won't need any appeals. How's training been going?
I'd say wonderfully. I mean, we're 3 weeks into semifinals training. We're doing the same thing over and over again.
Do y'all like the whole like we know the workout now we practice, or would you rather
No,
it be?
I'd rather show up and it just be blind. Because then everybody could kind of hide behind their execution that we've been doing.
Yeah.
Just like we've had 3 weeks to practice, so has everybody else.
Anything
It's
else
very
on that?
monotonous, like doing the same general movements over and over. Like obviously there's some variety to our training depending on the person, but you have to do what everyone else is doing for the most part to show up on game day prepared. So it just gets a little bit old, like repeating the same workout combinations and stuff like that. So
Yeah. All right. Well, let's actually go backwards in time for a minute. So Jordan was on our team that was at the East last year. What were you doing? You were off that year.
I went individual.
Individual. And so explain how these guys got brought into the fold. Y'all are new. Y'all just moved here. Ish.
I don't really know how.
She's the captain, dude.
So I think at the end of last year, I knew that like my team was being dismantled a bit because people were taking time off and not wanting to travel. So I was like, I need to get shit going because I want to be on a team again. So I knew Chris was still on site and that he had previously done team and was maybe interested in again. So from there, I was like, hey, would you be down to do this? Like, we got to find 2 more people. So from there,
A quest.
Yeah, we began being a quest.
Yes, and I said yes, obviously.
Nice. And now, so who was y'all's first options before you phoned these friends in?
So I sent out quite a few Instagram messages to different people, just being like, hey, do you have plans for next season? Most people had plans. And then Kyle Habdo was already working with Nick, and I had been talking with Nick like on and off about the next season. So he was kind of already like in the back of my brain. And it was just kind of like, can you have the logistics of moving on site? Because that's what we want. So then from there, it was like, try and figure out if you can move down here and if you can get the okay on site. And then we just need another female. And then him and Gabby had already been dating. And he was like, well, let me talk to Gabby and see if she'd be down. I knew of Gabby because she's an individual semifinal athlete. And I was like, that would be legit. Like, let's get this shit
A little
going.
couple moving. Okay, so
and then
you
yeah.
were on a team last year, right? A different team. Yeah.
2022.
Okay.
I was off because recovering from surgery.
Okay.
23.
All right. And Gabby, you were a individual athlete.
Yep.
Which year? Last year?
The past 3 years.
Okay. How did that? What was your best finish?
Well, I mean, when they changed it from the top 120 to the top 60, right? Like that was the top 60 last year. There were 60 athletes. So I think last year was 38th or maybe out of 40.
And did you ever think you would
60?
go team? Was that in the picture, or was this?
I think
brought on?
I'd thought about going team, but I also knew like I'm not going team unless it's seriously competitive. You know.
Hear that a lot. Okay, so when you got the call from her, and then he passed that on to you, what went through y'all's head when making the big decision to move your whole life here?
I mean, I think it was kind of perfect timing for the both of us. I had been in Charlottesville for the past 10 years at that point, and you know, I love Solidarity CrossFit so much, and I felt like I grew up there. But as far as like competing goes, like I had gotten everything that I could from that place. And so, you know, I had been thinking about leaving anyway. And I think Nick was also ready to make a new start. And so it just seemed like the stars were aligned. Like, why wouldn't we take that opportunity?
You had dropped in here before, right?
Yeah, I came in to check the pulse on Jordan and the team. And
was there one?
There was one, yeah.
Sometimes she could be a cold.
Yeah. And like she said, it was just, I think, time for a new chapter.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of getting it okay from work and then okays from here.
And was it, okay, before we get into the new chapter, let's dive back. Because, again, we got to make people care about you or hate you. So we got some interesting personalities. We got the Enneagram thing going on. But tell us a little bit. I know the thing, so I'm trying to probe. Let's start with you. I find you as a very interesting character.
Thank you.
This man, in his free time,
Interesting.
builds Legos.
Yeah, man.
I would have
Tell us
never
more
thought
about
that.
that.
And you were in the Army, right?
Yep. I did 8 years in the Army, similar to how he did 8 years in the Merchant Marine. And when we moved here, I finally had kind of an office space to build Legos, man.
So it was just like, man, if I could just get the space, I would build these things.
So, yeah, like buy them, order them.
Is that
build
really
them.
why you moved?
Yeah, I moved here to finish start
To
building.
finish what you started.
Now, you're mainly a Star Wars Lego guy, right?
Yeah, I'm a Star Wars
Okay.
guy.
And
There are some Lord of the Rings one. They're freaking cool, man.
the Rivendell and the
What about
freaking,
Dune? Isn't there?
I got that one.
you got a Dune Lego? And you're so into it that you buy like custom sets, right?
Tell
Yeah.
them about your investment strategy.
No, we're not gonna
Yeah.
get into that.
We'll come back to it. Here, I'll write
Okay,
this down.
okay.
Investment strategy. Okay.
That's the first time. Sorry.
Man, here we go. I was hoping we'd like skim over the Lego thing, but now we're into
No,
it.
we're into it. And like I said, this is going to be good. Either people are going to be like, dang, that's cool. This guy's awesome. Or, man, what a nerd. Either way, it works. But the nerdum doesn't stop there.
Wait,
So you guys
still
are
on
big,
You
me,
haven't
or
even
are we on-
scratched the surface.
big Lord of the Ring guys, clearly, by your shirts.
Yeah.
What's that about?
There is the extended master. What is the full title of it?
The 4-hour movies are coming back.
Yeah, but there are an additional scenes added to it on June 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all got shirts that are going to wear to the
Yes.
movies.
We're gonna, all three of us are going to be like nerds, and we're going to go back to back to back. 3 days in a row, 4 hours at a time. No pee breaks.
When is that happening?
I don't know. Jordan, what do you think about that when you hear this? Say Lego Man.
I don't know.
Jordan tried to watch the extended versions. She doesn't. How much of the movies do you recall?
Frodo.
Very little.
How much time did you actually spend paying attention, though?
50%.
Why are you calling her out like this? What?
That's what Chris does. He likes
He
to
likes
shoot
to
you
stir
in
the pot,
back.
but I was going to ask if the extended version was what we watched when you were at the house one day. Yes. When I decided to just randomly clean the fridge because I was like, this hasn't really caught my interest. Let me move on.
Wow. And so you're kind of like the quiet one on the team. All I've heard is that you're a Swiftie. Do you have anything else cool about you?
I mean, I read a lot.
You read a lot. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you do read a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Big reader. So while he's out there
Intelligent as hell.
bricking away, you're hitting the pages.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Favorite book?
A favorite book?
I think it's a tie between Anne Frank's Diary or Glennon Doyle's Untamed. Yeah.
Okay, I know one of those.
Yeah.
All right. What's y'all's little side combo here?
I was asking, what's that book that where the little boys throw the rock and kill the other little boy on the island? Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
Which isn't true.
Well,
Like
they did
that
kill
happened
that
in
boy.
real. Okay, but Lord of the Flies, like that happened in real life, and they all cooperated and survived.
To be determined. Let me see your source.
I think you could say Gabby's interesting qualities is basically whenever we have a social question or
An ethical question.
an ethical
so-
question, she's kind of like our first resource.
Ah.
And
And
she
then
is-
normally
Is she a good resource?
Yeah.
and then normally
yeah.
that starts some conversation.
Ah,
Definitely
okay.
opens up the book for not so intellectual conversation between us three.
I think I know.
We're
what
not
you're
dumb, but we're just not as.
Gabby knows a lot.
You were
Gabby,
included in that. You were
No.
included.
saying. Go ahead,
Absolutely not.
Jordan.
Gabby knows stuff. Yeah, she just is very well read and well versed in a variety of topics. So anything that typically you bring up in conversation, or like you bring up a book or a movie or some type of thought process, most of the time she knows what you're talking about. So it's just
Hey,
like
the
not
way a
Lord of the
podcast
Rings.
works is if y'all are talking, it just doesn't really work very well. So that's strike one. I'll go ahead and write that down. If we get to 3, we're going to just call this a day.
So shut up when someone's talking and listen.
Especially
so
the
you can have a
captain.
thoughtful response.
Jeez. Oh, God.
Roger that, Steve.
You were saying she's well versed. We got it.
Yeah,
Anything else?
She's well versed.
Nice. Now, you're kind of interesting too because what are you into? No. Y'all tell me what
Okay,
she's
this
into.
is kind of a running joke because people are like, "Well, what do you actually like?" And
Yeah,
multiple people have asked me that. Like, do you even like anything?
The
That's a valid question.
It's a yeah.
Xena, Xander,
Xena, Xander.
Those
and-
are her pets.
maybe Spencer.
Okay.
and
Maybe her husband.
posting about helping other dogs in locations that are not currently her own.
What does that mean? You like get them homes?
Yeah,
I follow a lot of foster pages, which can make me kind of sad seeing on my timeline. But my dream later in life is to have some sort of like smaller dog rescue to help rehome
Dang.
animals.
Have you rehomed any since you've been here?
No.
Oh God, you need to step it up, dude. It's
I
not.
think-
It's not enough to
sometimes
talk about it. You
it's
got to
just
be
the
about it.
repost is just the start of it. you know?
Yeah.
I repost and then I donate to a lot of their like medical bills and stuff when I see it pop up.
Oh, that's cool. So give the mic back to Chris, and y'all tell me about her now. Like, what's interesting about her?
Gabby, give it a rip.
Earlier when you were making a joke about like Jordan being cold or like, does she have a pulse? Like, I'm close with a lot of Enneagram 8s, and I think like something really special about them is that they do have a really big heart.
You just got to crack them.
Yeah, but I also think that sometimes girls who are type 8s get a bad rep because they speak their mind and they know exactly what they want.
Yeah, not
And
a
I
lot
don't
of people
think that's
like
a
that.
I don't think that's a bad quality to
I don't think so
have.
either. I like
Yeah.
having Jordan around.
Yeah.
I think it cuts out a lot of the fluff of like
Yeah.
trying to figure out what she wants. Is like
You
she's-
definitely know where you stand.
She's gonna tell you.
For sure.
Clear as kind, though.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Anything else about her?
No.
Like positive or negative?
Interesting.
Lizzo
what
made a
makes her
song that's-
interesting?
Lizzo made a song called "Truth Hurts," and sometimes when Jordan says the truth, it hurts.
What's the biggest fight y'all got in? Let's just dive right in.
Completely disagree about that.
That
I-
wasn't a real fight.
Hold
I
on.
yelled
Let's
at-
hear it. Let's hear it.
The strategy
You tell it.
of changing up the cadence on the Echo bike for workout 1, we had gone from a little bit larger chunk of work to a shorter sprint to turn over calories. And it was on the way into the gym. She proposed this situation, this scenario, and I just immediately, I was like, I completely disagree. Boom, sent it. And then when we got in person, we had our reasons to disagree immediately, and then we did what she wanted.
She's the captain.
She's the captain. That wasn't loaded. It was truly like she heard me. She got
Hold
a
on.
little
So
upset.
there wasn't
walked
really
in.
a fight there, or was
No,
there?
no.
There was a probably mildly heated discussion when he first came to the gym, and I was
Yeah.
explaining my
Why?
logic behind wanting to make the change, and the whole disagreement was basically on like a miscommunication and him not understanding what I was trying to say. But I was just trying to explain it, but I was explaining it kind of in the similar ways, and it took me removing myself from the situation because I was getting so heated and just like kind of walked away. And then I think somebody else picked up and explained it in a different way for him to actually be able to grasp.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
We were able to move on.
Now, here's a word I never thought I was going to say. How is y'all's conflict resolution? Are y'all the kind of team that when you beef and y'all can like get over it real quick, or does this fester?
So in that
I think it
moment,
depends.
I just had to give Jordan a little bit of space and then bring it up soon. Because if not, if you just leave it to simmer or to, what's it called when it stagnate, then it becomes worse. That's her. That's managing her. Like
Yeah.
when we're getting into an argument or whatever, then that's what we got to do.
All right.
For Chris, I have no idea, to be honest.
Chris, you look like you have
I
something
leave him
to
alone.
say.
I think our conflict resolution is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think we've definitely had our moments of friction, but I think that can be beneficial when you're trying to become a high-performing team.
Tell me why, Gabby.
Well, it'd be weird if you didn't have friction. I think if like you didn't have any arguments, then that would mean people are keeping stuff to themselves. And then you make up stories in your head about it, you know?
Yeah.
And it comes out in weird ways, or it would.
So, in general, not just this team, but in general, is it hard getting that cohesion for a team? Like, what goes into it? What would someone who's never done team not anticipate being like a thing that you have to figure out?
I think a big thing for some people is like approaches to training and being diligent with stuff outside of the gym. Like if you see that you're doing something and you feel like you have everything dialed in and you don't feel like other people who are part of the team are putting in the same effort, that can be a big friction point.
And who was
One
not
that
putting
comes to
in the
mind.
effort?
No, I'm not saying anyone here was. I'm just saying like,
I'm like
that's something.
Who's guilty?
Of course you looked at me.
We're going to have a fight on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's one thing that comes to mind.
What else?
The forming teams, I've done it twice now. How many times have you done? 3?
3.
Yeah,
Three,
it's
three.
kind of in my opinion,
What is a...
you don't know what you're going to get.
Oh, okay.
You could be the best surface athlete. You could be the hardest worker. You could be the number one guy individually in the world. And then you decide to go team.
Closer to that mic. There you go.
Thank you. You got kind of no idea what's going to happen when 4 people come into conflict or an issue in the heat of the moment, a workout or intellectual disagreement.
But the practice helps getting it out.
Yeah.
Y'all feel like the time spent now, y'all are like firing on all cylinders, or what? As far as communication,
I think
and,
time spent outside of the gym together.
oh, y'all hang out a lot,
Yes,
Yeah.
mostly.
Nice. Except for Jordan.
Well, whenever she can. She has
She has to post puppies.
and she's got to save dogs. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But even
So-
I would say like even outside of training too, like just joking around. That definitely helps.
Who's the biggest
build.
jokester? I have a feeling it's you.
I don't know.
Team? Chris?
like,
Nick? Gabby?
It's both of them.
makes the jokes. Chris and I feed off each other's.
Who's
energy, to be
Nick's normally
honest.
the expense of the jokes? Is that what you're asking?
That's true.
All right, we do have something interesting on this team, though. We have a couple. How's that? Is this
That's wonderful, man.
it's wonderful?
Yeah.
time.
You
of
can
my
be
life.
honest.
Well, yeah.
Does it provide
Well,
any unique challenges that being on a team without your significant other? Could you imagine Perrin being on your team?
We were on a team in 2018.
Oh, how'd that go?
I think it went fine. She also coaches me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it takes a lot of emotional maturity because like you both care about something, but then how you talk to a teammate is different than you would talk to a partner and like kind of an unconditional support or whatever. But that being said, like doing it with your significant other, like you know that they have the greatest level of understanding. They know exactly what you're going through because they're right there next to you.
Yeah.
And that's really special too.
What's y'all's biggest strength as a team? And well, let's go start there.
Individually,
No, as a team. Like what do y'all, when you compare yourself to all the other teams, what's something y'all are best at?
comparison.
Are you talking like
Anything.
anything?
you
It
could
doesn't
think
have to just be like physical,
Nope.
like athletic stuff.
of. Yeah, it could be
Okay.
mental stuff. It could be anything else.
I'd say we're pretty well connected individually together. As a team, like we mesh well. That's what I should have just said. Sorry about all the fluff.
Apology accepted.
I think
Curious what Gabby's response will be on this.
experience.
Experience.
Yeah. I think like it would be totally
Team
different.
experience or just training experience?
I think
Both.
like experience and competitive CrossFit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I think this would be much different if we were all like 23 and started CrossFit a year and a half ago. Right. Like, but I think we're, you know, all the experience is worthwhile and we can all still learn things from each other. And like, I think that experience also gives you perspective, right? Like, you know that you're going to have bad days in the gym and like you can have that bad day but then, you know, the next day, like you move on or like you realize like that's just a moment in time, you know?
Yeah, I got you. What do you feel like your guys, I'm going to have to go change these cameras real quick, but carry on. What's the goal for this team? Like, have y'all sat and been like, you know, here's our expectations. This would be a home run. This would make us rethink our whole lives. Like, where on that spectrum is y'all's goals?
We're gonna let
Go ahead.
Steve take that one.
The goal is to go to the games. That's
Yeah,
why we put this team together, get to the games and do the best that we can at semifinals and have fun and enjoy each other's company while we're doing it.
Yeah, it would also be nice to not come in last. That's, in my mind, like that's an
I'll
added
come in
goal
last where?
at the games.
Okay.
At semifinals, I would cry a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but at the games, yeah, to be competitive to a point where we can be proud of our achievements. Like, hey, we didn't win it because I don't think we're gonna win it. That'd be really cool, but you know, we don't want to be the last place team that's just there for a participation trophy.
Right. You have something, Chris?
Under strengths, circle back to that. I think our support network is a strength.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And just like the level of professionalism that goes on behind the scenes in our preparation. Because like all the teams are practicing, they're all training. Like CrossFit training is basically CrossFit training. Everyone's getting after it. But like the level of coaching and the level of attention we get from our coaches, and then just the environment on site, all that I think is a huge benefit. That even like when you guys moved here and saw like the open and quarterfinals,
Yeah.
I think you're like, wow. And it's stuff like
Didn't
us
as an
having
athlete,
been
you didn't
here.
do anything. You just showed up and everything
Say
was
again?
Are you talking over me?
Yes, I am. I'm talking over you.
Go ahead.
But coming from a gym where you didn't have any, I mean, you had support, right? And you had people there that were going to coach for you or count for you, or not coach, but count and set up. But coming here, you literally just showed up at your heat time. And
Do you like that?
yeah, dude, you didn't have to worry about anything else.
Y'all told your coaches and all the people thank you?
Yes, of course.
Always.
We
That's a
gave
really
them
good
gifts.
answer, Chris.
We gave them
Nice.
Good
gifts.
to circle back with that.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. So, team, just in general, like on the spectrum, it's kind of like, you know, the main thing people like. What'd I say?
Keep
You
going.
said
Just
on
keep
the
going.
spectrum.
On the spectrum.
And that got him.
Oh, God. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Yep.
Oh boy. So doing team. You know, individual is the open division or whatever they call it, where it's just the not masters people. That's like the main show, and then teams kind of behind it, and then all the other divisions, whatever. What do you think for people out there who might be individual and thinking about team? Kind of, is there a sales pitch you have for doing this? Are there things you learned by doing team that you kind of like say, man, if I had never done this, like I probably would have wished I had, or anything like that? Should more people be doing team, or is it you got to be a specific kind of person and it's not for everybody?
I feel like most people could benefit from going team. I know for myself, in a team dynamic, I end up doing things that I didn't even think I was like physically capable of doing, because I tend to push harder knowing that other people are relying on me. So there's been scenarios with like online qualifiers that I've done this year and last year where I pushed past what I thought that I can do and surprise myself. And I don't have that many memories of doing things like that when I've been just by myself. And I think there's something really special about being with a group of people and just suffering alongside them. Yeah, you're training individually, you're doing workouts and racing people, but it's not the same as supporting others and like doing something with a group of people and it not just be for yourself.
Anything else? She covered it.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I would say I agree with that, but I would say it's not for everyone. And if you have a personality type, like Jordan just said, where you like the environment of having the pressure of other people relying on you, and like that makes you push harder, I think then you should try going team. But a lot of people don't like the flip side is that is your fate is also in other people's hands. So it's a two-way street, and a lot of people don't like that or get frustrated with that. So
that made me think, how do you handle those moments where at any given workout, it could be different for every workout, right? Where you are the weakest link on the team. Like, how do you overcome that? Like, is it the team rallies you up to be like, it's cool, we know, or does that provide drama? How does that go down?
It comes from, I think the foundation is just the team bond and having trust in each other. Because it literally could be anyone, depending on the workout.
What's it like when you are that person?
Okay, can I speak to this since I've been running 15K for the past 3 weeks?
You're a weak runner?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, to be fair though, like this is a group of exceptionally strong runners. But I think that it's like separating the difference between like there's an expectation to perform or there's a pressure and other people are relying on you, but then trying to reframe that into you have those people supporting you, right? Like Jordan's going to pace me on the run at semifinals, and it's not that she feels like I'm holding the team back, or anybody doesn't feel like that, but it's not that she thinks I'm holding them back. She's like, I'm going to be here because, you need somebody to pace, and it's like a support. And it's not any extra pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Nice. You don't have to, Chris.
No, I think Gabby
crushed
it.
All right.
She's going to crush the run.
I was going to say she's going to crush the run and then wait to see her on the barbell.
What did y'all think about the workouts when they came out?
I did not expect to run 2.5 miles at semifinals.
And y'all still don't know what it's going to look like, right? I guess we'll find out this weekend with the West.
Well,
No,
no,
it's
they're
going to
in
be
the
still
West.
could be
different.
different?
It's different
It'll be
venues.
different.
So we won't know until we get there and check in and get like the briefing.
Nice.
Yeah, 2.5. That's a bit of a shock. I mean, last year with the uncalibrated runners at semifinals, I think kind of suggested that they try something different with the run course. But I don't think anybody.
Do you want the TSA line?
No one wants to turn.
You did a TSA line once
no one
in
wants to turn that
Vegas.
many times.
Yeah, but it was pretty spread out. I wouldn't call it a legit TSA
Oh, okay.
line, but it was outside, like zigzagging. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think overall it's a good variety of tests. I could be nitpicky and say that like certain movements don't matter in certain tests, and if I were to program that, I would change it up a little bit. But overall, I don't hate them.
What do you think about how they program for teams? Do you feel like they do good
Ooh.
team programming, or is it kind
So,
of like the afterthought?
It's
That's what I've heard people say.
Yeah, that's hard to say because this year looks very different than the last few years. I think this year it's more all team encompassed workouts. If you look at years prior, you had like waterfall relays where it was just an individual workout and each person goes at their own time, or you had pairs. And this year it really is like all four of us are doing the entire workout basically outside of like the lift or like the overhead squat, but it's everyone's working for the entirety of the workout, and that's very different from what it's been the last 3 years.
What do y'all like as far as the different? So they can do, all right, this workout has 2 people working at a time, or all 4 of y'all working at a time, or one's doing a whole. What kind of format do y'all like the most and feel like is y'all's best? Do you get what I'm asking?
I think we did really well in choosing the pairings for the movements in quarterfinals. We knew we're like, okay, this is the movement, that's the pair, and then we'd go and execute well. And I'd say the same for.
I just got to change the camera. Keep talking.
Are you saying like, I think he's asking like what style workout we like as a team.
If 2 of us can work and attack the workout in the way that we know that those 2 pairs are going to work well for that
So
workout.
we like splitting the team into pairs is what you're saying.
Yeah, but splitting the team into pairs, I think we're pretty good at that.
If we could make the teams of 2, we would like it better.
No. I guess that's what it sounds like. But
Who's your favorite person to pair with?
you, Chris. I'm just kidding. It's Gabby.
Does that happen though, where you have favorite people to pair with?
It depends on the movement.
Yeah, I guess that's
because
true.
Chris is a fast squatter, Gabby's a super fast squatter. Jordan and I have similar squat patterns, but our gymnastics is different. So
Yeah.
that's why I was saying if we could pick our pairs and execute, we're going to do well. But the 4-person workouts for semis are pretty good too.
All right, here's a question. I brought this up on many podcasts before, and it might be dumb asking you guys this because this is the hand you're dealt now. But moving forward in the future of CrossFit, do you feel like this format, 2 guys, 2 girls, is what they should do for teams? Or the other option that's on the table is the Wadapalooza style, where you have dudes on a team that also verse other dude teams and girls on a team that also verse other girl teams.
I have not thought about that. I will.
Which one would you watch? Which one do you like watching more?
I kind of like the mixed teams.
Yeah, I would lean towards mixed teams, because then you might have like 3 Rockstar Games individual athletes. They're like, let's just make a 3-guy team or a 3-girl team. And
Couldn't you have that with this though?
We are currently having that with this.
Why does that seem like it's bumming you out?
Well, I I don't know. I don't. I guess I never thought
Deflect.
of it that way. Deflection. Someone else answer.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think, well, number one, like, I think logistically
Yeah.
having the male teams and female teams would be like impossible. But
No,
Like-
it's not. Wadapalooza does it.
yeah, but Wadapalooza is kind of like a shit show.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Sorry, Wadapalooza. I don't know anything. But like, my honest answer is I like the mixed pair. I think it's kind of fun sometimes based on workouts. Like, you can get crafty when you have the option of like maybe like with strategy. You're like, oh, maybe we'll have guys do this and girls do that. I think that adds a dynamic. And it's kind of cool because, like, you know, if you're individual, like, you're only competing with guys. It's kind of fun to like mix it up.
Ladies?
I mean, I think that this format is cool. And yeah, I agree with Chris. I think logistically, like, that would be too hard. But I think what's cool and something I've always appreciated about CrossFit is that, like, it kind of closes the gap or dismisses this long held belief that men are always going to be better than women, you know? So I think having the mixed team format is better.
I think the mixed team format's better. I don't know why I feel this way, but I don't think I would want to watch same-sex teams do stuff. I would just
Yeah.
wouldn't want to watch it, and I don't have.
See,
a
I'm
reason
the
why.
other way.
If they-
I'd rather watch the dudes
No.
slay the best dudes slay the best dudes. But that's just me.
Yeah.
No, but this is also cool. It's like, I don't think it's like we need to switch it necessarily because this provides its own unique thing. But when Wadapalooza started doing that, I felt like it was more hype.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I'm always right. Well, I've ran out of notes here. Is there anything else I should ask you guys?
You kind of individually introducing all of us.
Oh yeah, we
We
never
started
circled
with
back to
Chris,
each
and then
person.
we.
What? I
Shot
feel like
off
we
shot.
learned about all you guys.
We
Go
did.
ahead.
I think one main thing we missed was how they call me Steve.
Oh, you're Steve?
She's
Yeah.
I've heard that like 3 times already.
Mhm.
I thought it was you.
no, that's
For a second, I thought it was me.
Jordan.
Why is she Steve?
It comes from a place of endearment and love.
But why Steve? It could have been any name.
Yeah,
Right?
it's Steve Prefontaine,
Ah,
and then I'll pass it to Gabby because she does the best job explaining why. But
that's the first Nike dude, shoe guy who got the deal, right?
I don't know.
The runner guy?
Yeah, he was a runner, and so his whole thing was before races, he'd be complaining about the weather, he'd be complaining about his shoes, he'd be like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to practice.
my back hurts, my wrist hurts,
My hip,
my hip is messed
my
up.
elbow,
I don't want to do this.
And then
it's hot.
This is extremely dramatic.
No, it's not.
Also,
It's
everything that you were
Pretty
saying.
accurate.
and then
You're full of
he'd go out there and win.
Yeah.
So it was like a coping strategy. Yes.
I do
And
feel
she-
like when it comes to bitching or like, you know, complaining about stuff, there's like an element of like, there's people who complain and yeah, it's like good to like try not to do that. But I find that a lot of people who complain, it's not so much just that they want to complain. It's just a way to like talk.
Get it out.
It's like saying that talking about the weather, like, oh, the weather outside. It's just like, if I make this thing, now we have something we could talk about. And it's just like a nervous, like whatever. It's not so much just that they're bitching. It's that that's their intro into the conversation.
Yeah, and it's cool because Steve really did come out during quarterfinals, and then she hit a home run on that last barbell workout, and it was like GD. That was
I'm not a barbell girl.
Yeah, I know. And so in leading up to it, there was a lot of the aforementioned bitching, and we just were like, well, this is either going to go well or not, and it went well because Prefontaine won on that round.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we call her Steve, and we like that.
All right. I'll put that on your name tag.
What did we miss? What other team dynamic things that we missed?
That you two, Chris and Nick will go for minutes quoting Star Wars scenes.
What's y'all's favorite scene? Let's hit one.
Go, yeah. You guys do one.
I think I know what yours is.
All right. Go ahead.
And I could give a serious answer because I could give a joking answer.
Oh, make it a good one. Make it a good one.
Come on, the whole world's watching.
A serious answer or a joking answer? You know, like when Anakin and Padme are on Naboo.
God, I do not like Anakin, for the record.
Is this
talking
baby
about
Anakin?
sand.
Oh, you son of a...
Go ahead, hit it.
Hate sand.
Set the scene.
Okay, Anakin and Padme. Okay, the Jedi Council thought it was a good idea to send
An adolescent, young Padawan who's never done anything, sexually in his life.
It's against the
before.
code.
It's
You
against
can't.
What is this, 2 or 1?
This
This
is
is Attack of the Clones.
Okay,
episode
Attack of
2.
the Clones. Got it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Granted, they met when Anakin was,
8?
12?
Stay in that cockpit.
Anyway, so they send this.
It's working.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is where we lose Jordan, by the way.
They send this, how old is he at the time? He's in his prime. And they're
I
like,
think he's supposed to be 18.
and they're like, we want you to go protect this young, hot senator from Naboo.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what could go wrong?
and it's Natalie Portman in a crop top.
Yep.
In the early 2000s.
Yep. So what went wrong?
Well, they,
Well, Anakin,
they broke the code.
what went wrong was Anakin he had this
Is
dream.
this how we got Luke and Leia?
He had this dream, right?
No.
And he had to go find his mom.
I thought you said he broke the code.
No, well, yeah, they did, but maybe.
And when he rescued his
Didn't
mom, he got mad and killed a bunch of sand people on Tatooine.
Yeah.
And he confesses this to Padme. And
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Big red flag.
He's like,
Are we gonna get to the scene where y'all quote?
He's
This
like,
was
well,
the-
I'm getting there. And he's like, I even killed the women and the children. And then Padme was like, yeah. And that's where everything
That
went
was the
wrong.
red flag where she was like, all right, decision point. Do I like him or not? And she's like,
I like
this guy."
him.
She said yeah when he said that.
Yeah, basically.
No.
Basically. I mean,
And the
No.
rest is history.
the rest is history.
That's going to get cut.
Well, guys, this was a long podcast. I don't know if you got much, but at least the negotiations were short.
Nice.
That's how you wanted to end.
I was too embarrassed to do what I wanted to say.
What do you want to say?
Have you ever heard the tragedy Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Have you what?
Have you ever heard the tragedy Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No.
Are you getting ready to start?
Mace Windu is an exception.
You're about to start.
But you're saying you don't like Harry Potter because the good guys aren't allowed to use
The bad
guys' powers. So
Yeah.
how's that different than Star Wars, which we all know you're a fan of, when the Jedi aren't allowed to use powers that the bad guys are supposed to use?
Because there's not enough of this violence. And here's the
Because
reason
there's
why.
not enough
No,
younglings
dude.
getting slaughtered?
No,
Is that
something
why?
like that. Like Harry Potter, man, it could have been so much more violent and bloody. Like, dude,
'cause I wrote it
you have
for a different
spells and shit
audience.
to blow people's body limbs off there, and they're just
Dude, his parents were murdered in the beginning. How's that not violent?
Yeah, but it was like the screen cut. It was like Voldemort's in the room, and then the green lights up, and then all of a sudden Harry gets the fucking scar.
So
and
you want to
shit.
see it. You
In
want to see the
Star
bloody
Wars, you
and
don't see the
gore.
younglings getting murdered. You see a lightsaber and the door closes and the little kid Ugh.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right. But I guess I was already growing up with that, so I gave it a pass. I didn't even look into it. But you're
Honesty's nice.
right. I think.
Dude, we just discovered something here.
that I hate Harry Potter. Because it's not violent enough?
No, I think we just disproved your point.
No, my point is that there's a
know
lot.
what your point is.
No, I think he now hates Star Wars.
I think that's it.
No. That's not where this is going. Harry Potter had the potential to be extremely violent with the amount of stuff they're throwing at each other. Dude, full school-wide Hogwarts, like, Dementors and what are the bad people that follow Voldemort called?
Death Eaters.
Yeah, Death Eaters versus all the good guys in the world, Wizarding World, come to Hogwarts or whatever, and there's, like, no one, there's, like, barely blood. People got scratches on their
Dude,
forehead.
he lost like half of his crew.
You
Mad
mean-
Eye Moody got killed.
Yeah.
Remus Lupin got killed.
One of the
And his
gingers.
wife. One of the gingers got killed.
That's 4. You just
Among
listed
others. Yeah, off the top of my head, I haven't read those books in like years.
That was pretty damn good for not like
Yeah.
I couldn't even pull those out, and I read like 2 years ago.
I was thinking the Wolfman,
Remus?
the Wolf Girl
There's no wolf girl.
that he was married to.
She wasn't a wolf.
You know what I'm saying? Those people that were married.
Sirius Black also got killed.
He died in an earlier movie.
I
Didn't
know,
he?
but he still got killed.
He got killed in the Ministry of Magic, if I'm not mistaken.
Now you're just trying to sound smart.
Yeah, hell yeah! I'm trying to do some Ministry of Magic. I believe. But you fucking forgot what it was called. But you can pull their names out of your ass.
I didn't forget.
Yeah, you did. Anyways, Harry Potter wasn't violent enough. The books were way better. I like the books. I like the Harry Potter that I created in my head. And
feel like
then when
you're
you
back-
so this whole thing
You're
was about the
backtracking.
movies.
Yes.
Oh
you're
yeah,
back-
yeah.
Oh.
Definitely.
You're back. No. You started this that you hated Harry Potter in its entirety.
Can I say I said
I think you're backtracking.
I like the books more than the movies. That does not
Yeah,
mean
but that's-
they're in
everybody
the.
does.
They have not crossed the line of Nick likes this. It's like here's the line, here's the books, here's the movies off screen. I hope you get that off screen. That's my point.
I don't
And
know what your point is
you
anymore.
are right about here right now.
I don't know what that means.
I'm just kidding. You're over here. This is like love.
Are we
I-
good?
Yeah,
We good?
Harry
I
Potter
mean, I think
shit-
I won the argument.
I think you did too.
Thank you.
Or now you hate Star Wars.
No.